In the blistering heat of Suncorp's cauldron, where the Broncos faithful have etched their souls into the concrete, Reece Walsh stares down the abyss of a prelim final that could redefine everything. Nathan Cleary, the golden boy of Penrith, the halfback who has crushed Brisbane's dreams not once but twice in grand final glory, 2023's heartbreak, 2024's agony, looms like a storm cloud over the decider. But Walsh, the street-smart speedster from Logan, doesn't flinch. When reporters prod him on taming this conqueror, his eyes flash with a grin that's equal parts cheek and steel. How does he deal with us? The words hang in the air, a defiant gauntlet thrown into the face of fate, sparking a firestorm of speculation. Is this bravado or blueprint? In a league where fear is the silent killer, Walsh's retort isn't just talk, it's a declaration of war, igniting the powder keg of a rivalry that's left scars deeper than any high tackle. The crowd senses it, the air thickens with the scent of sweat and redemption, and for 10 heart-pounding seconds, the world holds its breath, wondering if this kid's swagger will shatter the Panthers' dynasty or join the ghosts of finals past. Surprise slices through like a Walsh sidestep. Cleary, the unflappable maestro, admits in a leaked huddle tape to feeling the heat for the first time, his composure cracking under the weight of Brisbane's reborn hunger. This isn't mere banter. It's the spark that could torch the script of predictability in the NRL's grandest stage. Hit play now to unravel the mind of the man who's turning terror into triumph. Your front row seat to glory or gut-wrenching what-ifs awaits. Deep in the Broncos' war room, where tactics are forged like weapons in the forge of adversity, Walsh's fearlessness isn't born of naivety but nursed in the fires of personal vendetta. Flash back to that 2023 decider, the siren wailing as Cleary's field goal pierced the night, leaving Walsh sprawled on the turf, a 23-year-old prodigy tasting the bitterness of unfulfilled promise. He was the spark then, the X-factor who danced past defenders like shadows, yet Penrith's machine ground him down, their halves pairing a metronome of precision that exposed every crack in Brisbane's armor. Now, 2 years wiser, Walsh has evolved, not just in footwork, but in psyche. Training sessions under the floodlights reveal a fullback who's studied Cleary's every feint, every grubber, turning obsession into armor. How does he deal with us? It's code for a collective evolution. The Broncos pack, led by Payne Haas's rampaging fury, now mirrors Penrith's relentlessness, while Ezra Mam's bench cameo promises a late-game injection of chaos. Adam Reynolds, the grizzled halfback reclaiming his throne from a hamstring curse, vouches for Walsh's license to thrill. Let him run wild, guide the chaos, not cage it. The storytelling unfolds like a thriller, Walsh, the underdog heir to legends like Carmichael Hunt, channeling that Logan grit into a narrative of reversal. Rival scouts whisper of Brisbane's secret weapon, a defensive web spun around Cleary, with Walsh as the spider, baiting traps in the halves where opportunities flicker like fireflies. No fear. It's forged in the memory of defeat, tempered by a golden point miracle over Canberra just weeks ago, where Walsh's vision carved victory from desperation. As Suncorp swells with 50,000 voices, the tension coils, one wrong read from Cleary, and Walsh's question becomes prophecy, flipping the conqueror into the conquered. Welcome to Tennis Insider, where we decode the mental marathons that turn athletes into icons, because in sports arena, the real game is waged between the ears. As the sun dips low over the Brisbane River, casting long shadows across a city pulsing with maroon pride, Walsh's audacity ripples outward, reshaping the prelim's fault lines. Cleary, the three-time premiership architect, has long been the Broncos' boogeyman, his cool under pressure a scalpel dissecting their ambitions. Yet Walsh's retort exposes a chink. Penrith's invincibility, once ironclad, now frays at the edges with whispers of fatigue, Luai's looming defection to the Tigers casting doubt like fog over their unity. How does he deal with us? It's a mirror held to the Panthers' soul, forcing Cleary to confront a Broncos side that's shed its finals fragility like old skin. Storytelling crescendos here, in the quiet moments of film study, Walsh pores over tape, mapping Cleary's rhythms, envisioning counters that blend Reynolds' cunning with his own explosive flair. Surprise erupts in a midweek presser. Walsh reveals a personal twist, admitting late-night texts with former Panther teammate Kurt Capewell, gleaning intel on Penrith's pulse points, turning brotherhood into battlefield edge. The faithful devour it, jerseys rippling in waves of chants that drown out the skeptics. This fearlessness. It's infectious, seeping into Patrick Carrigan's leadership, fueling Haas's charges, even lifting Mam from injury's shadow to a role that's less benchwarmer, more game-changer. Compelling threads weave through the build-up, the Undercity kid versus the polished prodigy, street smarts clashing with suburban strategy in a duel that echoes rugby's timeless epics. Retention locks in as hypotheticals swirl. Will Walsh's first half sizzle force Cleary into errors, or does Penrith's depth swallow the bravado whole? The air hums with stakes, a grand final ticket, legacy etched in silver, or another winter of regret. In this pressure cooker, Walsh's no-fear ethos isn't hubris, it's the lever that could pry open the vault of victory, one audacious question at a time. And as kickoff nears, the narrative arcs toward climax, with Walsh embodying the Broncos' defiant heartbeat against their perennial nemesis. Cleary's conqueror tag. Walsh chips away at it, layer by layer, his confidence a virus infecting the Panthers' certainty. Picture the huddle pre-whistle, eyes locked, fists clenched, Walsh's words echoing, "How does he deal with us?" as the team absorbs the challenge like oxygen before the plunge. This isn't blind optimism, it's calculated rebellion, rooted in a season of reinvention where Brisbane clawed from mid-table mediocrity to prelim protagonists. Reynolds' return adds ballast, his veteran guile a compass for Walsh's compass-free creativity, ensuring the fullback's runs aren't rogue but orchestrated lightning. The surprise element lingers, leaked Panthers audio catches Cleary chuckling nervously, masking unease as he dissects Brisbane's hybrid attack, admitting Walsh's unpredictability as the wildcard that haunts his dreams. Fans, scarred by past capitulations, cling to this storyline like a talisman, the prodigal son's return to form, weaving redemption through every sideline dart and pinpoint bomb. Compelling drama builds in the contrasts, Cleary's metronomic mastery versus Walsh's improvisational jazz, a symphony of styles colliding under Suncorp's glare. As the clock winds down to 0 hour, the question hangs not as taunt, but as totem, rallying a club that's learned to fear no conqueror, only the mirror of its own potential. Victory here. It would crown Walsh not just survivor, but slayer, scripting a Broncos resurgence that echoes through eternities. The hunt for glory sharpens, and in its blade's edge, fear dissolves into fuel. Welcome back to Tennis Insider, smash subscribe, drop your bold call below, Walsh's words, bluff or blueprint. Hit that bell for the post-game pulse. Tennis Insider signing off, may your teams conquer.